There is no doubt that Yemen is one of the poorest countries in water in the Middle East region because the average of water consumption per capita is not more than 150 cubic meter per year. The causes of low average for water are: 1. The lack of rainfall that affects the recharge of groundwater. 2. Non-benefiting from torrents waters. 3. Augmentation of population growth. 4. Non-rationalization of water consumption and unjustified extravagance. 5. Spread of GAT agriculture, which consumes enormous quantity of water. 6. The lack of policies for organizing and exploiting water resources in sustainable manner. Since agriculture is the main user of water, especially from the ground storage, major challenges that confront irrigated agriculture represented in the necessity of providing used water for sustainable irrigation from ground resources and raising its efficiency and productivity return. Looking into this agricultural water situation, it was imperative to foster programs and projects implementation for the conservation of the scarce water originally and improving and developing it. In light of that, the Ministry of Agriculture and Irrigation gave the priority for the realization for these targets as they are in compliance with the state's strategy for confronting the water crisis, increasing the agricultural productivity for improving the rural families' income and the alleviation of the severe poverty.
والله سابقا كنا ما فيش معنا لا شبكة ولا شيء.
In the past, we didn't have a network and nothing else. We had kawabir that were water channels. We were calling them kawabir. Water was passing and the water was lost in the soil and humidity was for 3 meters. But now, thanks God, when we installed the network and when we went to the office of the Groundwater and Soil Conservation Project, Mr. Muhammad Naji helped us and the engineers there, and they came here and saw the water loss. We had installed the network, and now, as you can see, thanks God, in the past we used to plant watermelon in a little quantity. We were planting tomato in less quantity. But now, by this network, thanks God, we are planting almost everything, the hot spices here, the watermelon and tobacco and other things. But in the past, the water channel was there and the humidity used to be so much and we were irrigating just a little of our farm. We couldn't irrigate the whole area. We have 2 networks now. If one of them fails, the other one works to irrigate the hot pepper, tomato and the watermelon and even the pepper. We call it pepper, the one with large piece. We call it pepper here. But this is now hot pepper, all the spices. How much water did you save after using the new methods of irrigation? We have saved a lot. We can plant 2 or 3 times per season. The production has been improving, and thanks God. We started early to plant, and when the network is being installed, we saved water. How many families that are benefiting from this farm? More than 20 families, all of them work, and even young children who work in other farms, they work here every day. We pay to the elder ones 1,000 rial and to the younger ones 500 rial per day. And each one does certain work in raising the production. You have provided a complete labor, thanks God. How long have you been working in this farm? 20 years, but we feel now the difference. Responding by the government for accomplishing these goals, the government entered in a partnership with the World Bank in financing the groundwater and soil conservation project, within the framework of its attention to the farmers in fostering irrigation technologies for saving water, the water harvest works for recharging groundwater and soil conservation, in addition to capacity building for local communities and formation of water users groups.
استفدنا من المياه توفير المياه.
We benefited a lot from the water savings. Instead of planting 10 to 20 mi'ad, that's hectares, we farm today up to 50 mi'ad, that are about 50 hectares. We plant all kind of crops, grains, sesame, fruits and vegetables. Instead of getting 100 baskets today, you can get 400 baskets after the installation of the new technology of irrigation. Now, thanks God, we have saved water and diesel as well. And our thanks to the Yemeni government for its effort in providing this water and this new equipment. We are satisfied now, and thanks God we have benefited a lot from the network system, achieving the targets of the first component stages in improving and raising the efficiency of the field irrigation. The field unit team for irrigation services has prepared a simplified booklet guide to the farmers in specifying scheduled for times and dates for irrigation various crops to samples farms prevailing in each region and according to irrigation schedule and actual water needs for crops and kind of soil wells, productivity and certain irrigation systems. We didn't utilize from the water in the past, and the one terraced used to have more than 14 hours for irrigation. Now, after the intervention of the groundwater and soil conservation project, they have provided for us pipes and the modern irrigation network, and now from 14 hours to 3 hours only. Now, thanks God, we preserve water, and we even have the partners from the farmers. And this farm is a model now, and it is wide farm. And regarding the production, it is good, and it is doubled now by the virtue of the modern irrigation network. Instead of watering the plant and each week, and it might be even dried, now every 4 days, when we use to have the modern irrigation network, the plant becomes satisfied, and thanks God. That's to achieve the groundwater savings usable for irrigation purposes, reducing the pumping cost, labor, and gaining increase in production of the usable water unit. This action has been taken so as to magnify the role of the farmer and make him a major partner in this development work, that aiming him at first to train him on technologies for rationalization, the use of ground irrigation water, conserving it, and sustainability of its grace. This farm was established in 1993. In the past, we used to water the trees through the flooding method. We used the bigger quantity of water and also the diesel. We used to irrigate this terrace and this farm in 4 to 5 hours. Now, by the modern irrigation network, through the micro sprinkler, we irrigate the same area in 1 or 1.5 hours only. And we have saved labor and diesel. And regarding the production, each tree used to produce 1 basket or 2 baskets by the flooding method. But now this tree produces from 5 to 6 baskets. Even the fruits, the crops are now in a better quantity and even quality, and was poor in the past. The coffee benefits now much better. than in the past, and the production has been improving. And now, thanks God, the modern irrigation network by the micro sprinkling or the dripping is much better than in the past. The number of beneficiaries is about 20 persons or more, and the project supports us with the pesticides and the fertilizers, maintenance, training courses for members of the society, and the project is the official supporter to the society. And also the groundwater and soil conservation project has been rehabilitating the terraces and built water cisterns, and the number of terraces are about 10 or 8 in the region. The beneficiaries contributed by 11% of the total cost of the project, and it is represented by paying their share of the submitted work to them by the project, cash or in kind, and also paying their contribution of the cost of the irrigation materials that they have got. The percentage of the beneficiaries' contribution differs according to the project's component, and also differs from the activity to another within the framework of the component itself. We want to plant in modern methods and by new irrigation ways. For 4 or 5 years we continued such agriculture. When we decided to make any study for executing infrastructure to the farm regarding the irrigation networks, I went to the ground water and soil conservation project. They showed their readiness to give me a hectare from the irrigation networks, and which my project is about from 12 to 13 hectares. Then I took 1 hectare, the water conservation project, and got the idea of the installation and fixing it, and I bought from the local market and from abroad the rest of the network from the remained area of 12 or 13 hectares. We planted tomato. As you can see, the plantation was in a modern way and saved 50% almost from the water. Also, the production has been improving and increasing from 5 to 6 times. The quality of the production is a good one and excellent. Also have taken from the water conservation project a network for another mango farm, which is of course close to this area, and is about 20 hectares. They gave me a network for 10 hectares as a major line. Of course, I have added to it some accessories. The project's plan estimates till the 30th of October 2011 for localized water conveyance systems by plastic pipes and the polyethylene about 4,500 hectares, while the modern irrigation systems such as dripping, bubbler and sprinkler systems, the project plan estimates till the 30th of October 2011 about 2,440 hectares. We are now at the location of the sprinkling modern irrigation system for an area of 1 hectare, which we have got it from the water conservation project, besides that they have made 10 hectares water conveyance network by 4 inches, and regarding the contribution, it is about 50% for the modern irrigation and 40 for the service irrigation. The benefit from this project that we have saved labor, diesel and water. In the past, we used to water 1 hectare in 24 hours. Now we do it in 2 or 3 hours instead. We had suffered a lot in the past because the channels were almost open and they were sandy. Therefore, the water conveyance was very difficult and it took longer time, and also most of the water had been vaporized due to the air and land, and we were bored with that. We thought of finding a good way, and also we were thinking of quitting the agriculture. Now we start to reactivate our work due to the assistance of the groundwater and soil conservation project in providing the modern irrigation means. The cost of the crops was high, now it is less. The second component of the project that attempts to the improvement of spate irrigation, water harvest and soil conservation included 3 types of services. Implementation of small and medium spate irrigation facilities according to the project's plan, execution of 70 spate irrigation facilities. We are thankful to the Groundwater and Soil Conservation Project for its assistance. This region has been needed that kind of assistance to enable us benefiting from the spate waters in the irrigation of agricultural areas and in this area, and also the valley of Ma'aden and the other many agricultural lands are utilizing from this establishment, which help in the rise of the citizens' living level and also the farmers as well as in this area. This establishment has contributed in solving the problem where the channels are made in this water irrigation diversion, and this water flow is controlled in Al-Khadashiyya water diversion establishment, and 3 channels have been utilized from this establishment, and the area which will utilize from this water diversion is about 482 hectares, and 102 families are benefiting from this project. Implementation of Wadi's Bank's protection works in the lowlands, and according to the project's plan, 130 sites will be carried out.
نحن كنا من قبل سابقا هذه الأرض الموجودة الآن أمامكم.
In the past, this area was not well protected, but when the groundwater and soil conservation project came to the area and helped us in building this reinforcement to protect the valley and the lands, and thanks God, now the area is much better after the intervention of the project, and about 9 families are benefiting from this work, and the project has offered more than $4,000, and the citizens have contributed also with the rest in this cost, which is about 3 million Yemeni riyals. We want more support by the project because the spate waters changed everything in this area.
الحفاظ أيضا يعني الدعم الأكثر، لأن أيضا السيول تتحول من مكان إلى آخر.
We are thankful to you because you have done several projects to protect soil, and we appreciate your work, such as the project of the valley of Fisah, the canal of Fisah Valley, the project also of the bank's protection in Al-Qasamis Valley, and also the canal project of Hamil Valley, and also the protection of the valley of Qasim Canal production and other project spate waters used to effect on us, and the whole area has been affected and the citizens have been affected, and they couldn't do anything towards it when the groundwater and soil conservation project came to the area and made the right work in building these protective establishments to defend the soil against the erosion, and also the citizens shared with their efforts and also paid 20% in cash. Improvement of irrigation canals, gates of spate water, and the plan of the project is to implement 146 sites. This water canal is now available, and we used to sever in the past, and we used to have tractors and the block lanes to irrigate 12 hectares. The number of those who utilized from this canal project are about 12 families, with the cost of $1,800, and the groundwater and soil conservation project has paid the cost for the building of this canal. We are thankful to the project unit in Hajj province and also the head office in Sana'a for their efforts, and we hope to see more the projects are being carried out by the groundwater and soil conservation project in our area. The first benefit from this canal that eliminates the damages, and we used to pile up the sand and also trying to protect our lands, but the spate waters used to come and to take everything in its way and sweeps everything.
The second component of the project focuses on the water harvest and soil conservation in the uplands, which provides 7 types of services, and they are as follows.
Rehabilitation of agricultural terraces, and in this regard, the project's plan to implement 257,285 meters. Of course, we are now in front of these terraces, and they were rehabilitated by the groundwater and soil conservation project. And in the past, we had them as a sewerage for spate waters and mountainous area, and they were destroyed. And after the intervention of the water conservation project, these terraces have been reformed and rehabilitated, and they could be utilized by the citizens, and about 12 families have been benefited from them, and the terraces have been accomplished, as you can see, in this good shape. Of course, the community has contributed by 20% share from the total cost estimated by the groundwater and soil conservation project. These terraces have been rehabilitated by the groundwater and soil conservation project, and the field unit in the Mar, which has done that. Those terraces were a problem to the farmer because the soil was swept by the spate waters, and today they have been rehabilitated and become as they were in the past through the field unit of the project by maintaining and reforming them, and today 30 to 40 families are benefiting from these terraces that have been rehabilitated by the project. Of course, this valley of Al-Marhuba is considered to be the Marhuba Valley, and it is one of the most important valleys, and its soil is good for the agriculture and cultivation, and that was the most difficult thing for the citizens to work there, and also how to protect it, and it was a big problem to them, and they they face this problem by the farmers here. Therefore, now they benefited from this terraces, and the beneficiaries are thankful to those who have carried out the maintenance and the rehabilitation of these terraces, which they become as they were in the past. We utilize from the groundwater and soil conservation project, and we are the beneficiaries here at Al-Khanasa area, where the terraces have been rehabilitated and maintained. This area before the coming of the project was nothing. It was just a pile of stones. Then the project came and carried out the rehabilitation and maintenance of these terraces, and we are benefiting from them now to a good point, and they are all cultivated, and they are fully utilized by the farmers of this region, and we were not benefiting from them in the past at all. Those are the terraces of Al-nadayer Valley, and that is at Jihaf Directorate in Al-Bala province, and have been rehabilitated by the field unit in 2007, and have been benefited by the beneficiaries of this region, Adina.
لا تزرع أبدا وتم إعادة تأهيلها بواسطة مستفيدين.
Protection of Wadi's banks in the uplands regions, and the project's plan is to carry out 330 sites. Torrents traps, the project's plan is to execute 148 sites. Planting trees in various sites at the project's regions. Establish new water harvest reservoirs with capacity less or equal to 150 cubic meters, and the project's plan is to establish 367 cisterns. Rehabilitation of the current cisterns, such as pools and cisterns, with 279 of them, will be rehabilitated at the project sites.
وموجود الآن أمامنا.
We have here in front of us cisterns to store the spate waters in support by the groundwater and soil conservation project, and we could utilize from this cistern to collect the spate waters to benefit from this water for the animals and washing of the clothes and other things. We had suffered a lot in the past getting waters due to the water scarcity. Now the groundwater and soil conservation project has carried out several cisterns distributed in different areas in Al-Kalayba and Sawa, and also the Bani Khawlan Valley. And this cistern in front of us is one of the spate water cisterns supported by the conservation project. Also there are other mountainous terraces that have been rehabilitated by the project to be benefited by the community after they were destroyed, and they become cultivated and planted with all trees and other agricultural crops.
تتسلب وتعاني من الانجراف، أصبحت الآن مزروعة ويستفيد منها مثلا في زراعة اليقطين يعني والذرة والغرب وغيرها من أنواع المحاصيل الزراعية.
With the establishment of the traditional excavations at the bottom of the wadis, aiming at recharging the storage of groundwater, where the storage capacity is estimated at 720,027 cubic meters for the planned works. I will speak to you about this establishment before you, which is a traditional excavation for collecting the spate waters, and we're going to benefit from it. This cistern is being given by the Groundwater and Soil Conservation Project, and it has been providing a lot to us, and it has been given as a gift to this area. Of course, the cost of this excavation is about $33,000 US or more, and its capacity is about 20,000 cubic meters of waters. This project is very important because the rainwaters have been collected here, which they come down from Wadi Ayan and also come to this area, and of course the rainfall from Al-Mihwit mountains and Al-Zahir and Hufash and Namira mountains. The third component of the project provides an institutional support to the institutions and agencies working in the field of water and includes establishing irrigation services guidance at each field unit, supporting them with the required installations for performing their tasks. Each field unit carries out the following activities: to establish demonstration fields, to establish the users' water groups and also the torrents water groups, train farmers, holding symposiums, the distribution of leaflets, posters, documentary films, holding awareness campaigns to the mass and distributing posters and leaflets to them for their awareness in the field of improved advisory irrigation, monitoring activities that include monitoring water savings and groundwater levels and water quality monitoring.